Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Potential Unleashed. We are back with another video. This is One Piece chapter 1062. It is titled Adventure in the Land of Science. Let's get into it. Now, I will say, I read this last night. Typically, the scans drop, I'd say like, most of the time it's like late Thursday night, so like 11, 12 o'clock. Sometimes you'll get them early, like around 3 or 2 p.m., at least like Eastern Standard Time. But last night when I first read this, I didn't like, it's not that I didn't understand it, but there was a lot of information in here. So I slept on it. I woke up early this morning. It's like 7 in the morning to like really like dig deep and like truly understand it, so I give a proper review. But let's get into the cover page. It is there at Chocolate Land. I believe that is where Puddin's territory is, and it's frozen solid. Now, my first thoughts about this was Aokiji, right? Besides Monet, the only person that has anything related to snow or the weather, or at least like in the cold sense, is Aokiji. So maybe Aokiji is in Whole Cake Island. I don't know. We haven't seen him in a while. A lot of people speculate he's allied with Blackbeard and stuff. So I think it's pretty interesting seeing a frozen land over some form or some place in Whole Cake Island. The chapter, it starts out with where we left off with the Strawhats interacting with Vegapunk. We have Frankie. He is fanboying over Vegapunk. He's like, yo, you're my role model. I spent 2 years at your lab, and although I was there, I still couldn't figure out everything that was going on there, right? There's still stuff that I wanted to talk to you about, because Vegapunk is considered the scientific genius, and obviously Frankie wants to surpass her. So doing this meeting, you know, the role model, imagine like being a basketball fan and like, you know, you've worked on your craft based off of like somebody that you would watch on TV, or, you know, if you went to the game, see them in person, and you finally get to meet them in real life. That's kind of what this is like, right? Usopp, you know how him, Chopper, and Luffy interact when it comes to like mechas and stuff like that. So he's, you know, fanboying like, yo, I wish I could tell Luffy and Chopper about this. And Sanji, you know, he's always, you know, about the ladies, so he's simping over Vegapunk. Robin's like, well, this is the first time I've heard of Vegapunk being a woman. And so Vegapunk, she basically ignores Robin, is like, yo, you know, we need funds for research, so I'll end up letting you guys go if you know, hand over all your loot. Where Nami's like, man, it's cold out here, right? It's already cold and freezing out here, so you're going to be even more cold and steal all of our money. With Vegapunk, she's like, well, in the last chapter, I told you, like, I'm not saving you guys. You guys are pirates, right? I work for the government, so I don't know why you thought I was saving you. And so she's like, well, you know, I'll send these sea beasts to attack you, right? Where everybody, like, Usopp and Frankie, they're in awe. They're like, yo, these sea beasts, they look amazing, right? And then Usopp is like, well, even though they're amazing, like, I'm not going to sit up in here and, like, I'm too scared to really, like, enjoy them. Where Vegapunk, she gets a phone call. Her name is, this Vegapunk is called Lilith, which I will talk about a little bit later in the video. But she said, what are you doing? You know, you're sitting here trying to loot these pirates, right? But do you really know who they are? The person on the phone is like, you made a mistake, right? You've underestimated these pirates. It's the Straw Hat Pirates. They're a newly dubbed Emperor of the Sea. Look how calm they are. Specifically, the swordsman, Roronoa Zoro, talk about how his bounty, you know, is in the 1 billions. He's calm because he knows that she's within the range of him to strike. And she's like the same that goes for Nico Robin, right? That they're ready to do whatever they want. And if they really have to, they kill her, right? And, you know, a lot of people, you know, I guess you looking at like, you know, what can Zoro do? You guys do realize Zoro can cut steel. I believe that these machines are made out of steel, so that shouldn't be a problem for him. And I like the fact that, you know, Zoro being the vice captain, like, they're no longer underestimating him. I also don't understand why. I guess because maybe they've done research on her devil fruit, you know, and that it's a long range devil fruit. But I don't know why they didn't bring Sanji in here. Maybe it's just, you know, they're ignoring him. Maybe it's, you know, the stereotypical Oda, like, doing Sanji dirty. I don't know. And so Frankie and Sanji, they're like fanboying over her, where she's like, yo, did they put me in like a false sense of security in order to, I guess, like, let my guard lower down? Where Zoro, he's like, yo, Vegapunk, there's something I want to talk to you, so it's best you play nice and comply while I ask you this. Now I'm trying to figure out what Zoro wants from her? Is it like that they want to escape, want to see where Luffy went? Does it have something to do with how blades are made, something to do with devil fruits? Because that's a question. Vegapunk's the only one who knows what devil fruits are made of, so I want to see what Zoro wants to know from Vegapunk. Then we get the perspective of the person from the other line. Their name is Vegapunk 1 Logic. They're like, no matter, bring them here. I have interest in that crew, which I'll talk about a little bit later, because there did it, I guess, a better explanation of the different Vegapunks. It kind of reminds me, well, no, I'll save that part, right? We cut to Luffy and his side where, you know, Bonney, we find out, and this has been a theory that's been going on in the community for a long time. Apparently, Vegapunk turned her father into a cyborg, losing all his emotions, and that person is Kuma, right? So a lot of people were questioning why Bonney was crying or upset during the reverie at seeing Kuma, and that's because obviously her father was, you know, turned into a cyborg of no emotion. So that means he doesn't even probably remember her, or doesn't remember their different interactions. Then as they're exploring the laboratory, you know, there's different holograms there, right? Luffy, he tries to like go into like this monster or play with the monster, and he goes right through it. There's also food around, and they end up going right through it. And I love Bonney's interaction, right? It's kind of different from Law and Kid. Law and Kid were more serious, and like they would go along with the crew like to an extent, but at the same time Law and Kid would try to puff out their chest and, you know, have like superiority, or like that they're better than Luffy. Or Bonney just acting like, you know, just a stereotypical another member of the crew. I think it's really funny. I think it's really cool. As they're, you know, playing around, they notice like a machine that produces real actual food, and end up eating that, where another mysterious figure comes out. And Luffy, he like tries to punch her. It looks like a little kid to me. Like, well, not a little kid, because they said she's as big as Kaido, but Luffy tries to punch them, and then, you know, it didn't go through, so she ends up clocking him and punching back. I just find that funny. So this mysterious figure is talking about how they, you know, created different things, and how, number one, it would be nice to recreate it, however they're so poor, or like that they can't afford to do it, and number two, they don't have the engineers that can follow the blueprints. And so Jinbei, he's like, well, who the heck are you, right? And then this person says that they're Dr. Vegapunk, and everybody's like, okay. But when you look at the number, it's Punk 6. I think this is very important for what happened in the very next page of this chapter. We have CP0, right? They're in the New World talking about Vegapunk, how Vegapunk, basically because they're so smart, they thought it'd be best to divide, I don't know if it's necessarily their intelligence, but divide themselves in order to be able to produce or do more, if that makes sense. So think of it as like the more help you have, the better it would be. And so there are 6 versions of Vegapunk, and so far we've only visibly seen 2 of them. We saw 2 with Lilith, and there also was a panel, so we've seen Lilith, and then we've also seen Desire, or well, Yoke, I guess, and then on the phone there was Shaka, right? I really don't understand like the names behind this or why they're important. They might be explained. I might have to do a little bit more digging behind it, but it's just so, this reminds me of like the different paths of pain for some reason, right? And how like they were split up, and there was like a real body, and so I assume that these are really split up and that there's a real body controlling them. So what is CP0 doing? Their goal is to bring back like this defective, I guess you could say like Kuma wannabe in the background, and also their job is to destroy and kill, silence Vegapunk, right? Which I kind of don't understand why, because of what Vegapunk has done with the pacifistas, with the what's it called, I don't remember, whatever the Lunarian like knockoff of the warlords are. I think they start with an S, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I don't necessarily remember. So I'm trying to figure out why the world government is going after him. Rob Lucci said it has something to do with the Emu, and, you know, I forget the country. It's like Lelouch or Lilithith or something like that. With going, you know, seeing how Emu, you know, sent that nuke and nuked that whole country, wiping it off. So maybe they believe that, you know, since we're in the final saga, that they don't necessarily need Vegapunk anymore. Because Vegapunk doesn't necessarily seem necessarily interested in working with the world government, more like just interested in providing for themselves. So maybe they just think that, you know, maybe they have all the that know where all the ancient weapons are, they can access that, and so they don't need Vegapunk. But I kind of find it funny how, you know, CP0, they're going to to this island, and well, Lucci and Kaku, they're gonna get worked, right? They're not on the level of Kaido, on the level of King, at least for what we know, right? So seeing them, I don't know what they're gonna do. They're not gonna be able to challenge the Straw Hats anymore, and so I guess this arc is probably gonna be CP0 and the world government going against the Straw Hats, and I think that the Straw Hats are going to be the ones to end up protecting Vegapunk. I guess it all depends on what Vegapunk wants from them, since they did say they're interested in the crew. Overall, this was a really decent chapter. Like I said, I'm really interested in seeing how Oda's going to write CP0 and their interaction with the Straw Hats, because Kaku and Lucci are not strong enough for Luffy and Zoro. I'm sorry, right? That's just how it is. But let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a new video from me. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok is on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.